This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. The study of personality is a complex field, and many psychologists have taken different approaches to understanding why people have different personalities. This paper seeks to shed more light on the issue of personalities. Definition of personality. Different psychologists differ in their opinions about the correct definition of personality. This may be attributed to the complex nature of personality psychology, which demands different approaches and results in different definitions. However, personality can generally be defined as those unique characteristics a person possesses that make the person different from others. This encompasses all the mental characteristics and emotions that are the fundamentals of who we are. Our personality comes out through the way we do things, what we believe, our intellect, physical attributes, self-control, energy, and enthusiasm. Theoretical approaches to studying personality. The study of personality usually takes different perspectives depending on the person carrying out the study. Since there are many considerations to be taken into account in understanding personality, theories are developed that explain personality. Researchers often classify the study into narrow sections, which they can then try to explain. This has brought about different theoretical approaches to studying personality. Biological approach. The psychologists in this category take the biological concept, whereby differences in biological characteristics are often used to explain personality. Human anatomy is one of the biological tools used to explain personality. Psychologists investigate how different parts of the brain respond to different stimulations and make conclusions about a person's personality. An example is where studies using modern imaging technology have shown that the brain's left and right frontal lobes respond differently to emotions that may affect personality. Such results are said to have produced an interesting correlation to personality traits. Physiological changes have also been used to explain personality, whereby psychologists investigate how different hormones affect personality. For example, high levels of testosterone are usually associated with the absence of depression. Personality has also been associated with genetics, whereby psychologists argue that personality traits may be genetically transmitted from one offspring to another. Environmental effect approach. Some psychologists focus on the environmental influence on personality. Such theories suggest that people are more likely to develop personality due to the environmental factors around them. Children may grow to be violent if they are brought up in a violent society, though this has been said to depend on other factors such as body size. On any environment, big boys might tend to be violent while small-bodied boys might tend to be timid. Other traits might have evolved to be frequency dependent, meaning that they appear depending on how prevalent the trait already is in the population. Psychoanalytic approach. This branch of psychology often views personality as a result of intrinsic traits entrenched in the human nature of a person. Their approach is based on how one is brought up in childhood. It is argued that the upbringing and the experiences we go through may shape our subconsciousness in terms of things that attract us, likes and dislikes, self-esteem, and other personality traits. One of the supporters of this approach was Freud. This theoretical approach is said to be complicated since it mainly bases its fundamentals on things that affect the subconscious mind. The theory postulates that the subconscious is more prevalent than the conscious mind, several brain processes happen at the same time, and adulthood traits are traceable to childhood. Humanistic approach. The psychologists who take this approach argue that human nature gives people uniqueness from other elements of life. It is argued that each individual person needs to be understood differently since everyone has different and unique personality. This approach is based on the strengths of a person, development, and welfare instead of the negative side of life. Some psychologists use what has been termed positive psychology, where a person's positive traits are analyzed and correlated to the goodness of life, which in turn may affect the personality. Factors influencing personality development. Psychologists have done a lot of research to try to understand the factors that affect personality. Heredity is one of the most important factors considered by psychologists. They argue that personality largely depends on the traits inherited from our parents. Psychologists suggest that positive or negative characteristics such as physical attributes like physical strength and intelligence influence how society thinks about us and also how we think about ourselves, which in turn influences our personality. Environmental influences such as how our parents brought us up is suggested as one of the influencing factors. Some families treat their children as grown-ups, and this may make them develop responsibility traits as compared to children in families where they are expected to obey rules set for them. The social status of the family may influence the personality of a person. Children from rich families tend to have more self-esteem than those from middle or poor families. Other environmental factors include gender roles, how children relate, neighborhood and peer influence. Exposure is suggested as one of the factors influencing personality development. A person who is exposed to information may be more knowledgeable and enlightened, and this may make the person develop certain personality. Media may also influence one to emulate their favorite heroes, and this can influence their personality development. Many psychologists are observed to agree to the fact that all the factors that influence personality development are not independent, but as a matter of fact they are all related. It is a combination of all these factors rather than a single element that affects personality development. Genetically inherited factors, culture, environmental and personal experience may favor a person and make him successful and influential in life, such as a president of a country. Another different combination of these factors may result to a person with a totally different personality, such as violent and insensitive person. Conclusion. Psychologists have done much work in the study of personality. Many definitions of personality exist, the most generalized one being the unique characteristics possessed by a person. Different approaches are usually taken in the study of personality, with theoretical approaches taking different dimensions. Biological approach reflecting how biological functions affect personality, psychoanalytic approach focusing on intrinsic traits related to the subconscious mind. The human nature deals with the positive aspects of an individual. Factors influencing personality development include a combination of genetic inheritance, environmental influences, exposure, and cultural factors. This essay on personality, definition and characteristics was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one, on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for, free of charge.